Can I give you guys a mini Jerry's? Am I allowed to do that?
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Mini Jerry's on them making the playoffs.
I think that's 20%.
10% for me. Like, it's still a possibility. I'm not going to say it's 0%. I said 25% when they were like 20 games into the season.
That was pretty good on you. You were in the field.
And then when they started winning, it was like, uh-oh, look out. But they're 8 points out, and they have to jump over a bunch of teams. Now, I think what's interesting is the conversation in Toronto is they're done, and yet in Florida, it's not.
I know. And same in Ottawa.
Yeah. Like, Florida is finished. They have lost 3 in a row. They have a minus 11 goal. They have the exact same season as the Leafs, more or less. More injuries. They've won more in regulation. But they're both of them have a minus 11 goal differential. They both have 59 points, and I guess Florida's got a game in hand.
Okay, so you have to pick one to make the playoffs. Are you picking Florida?
I don't think either of them are, man.
They're not. That's the point. Like, neither team. And I think you could – listen, in Florida, it's obviously a very different conversation because they've been to 3 straight Cup finals and they've won 2.
No bigger hall pass in sports.
All day. Barkov, your captain, out immediately. Kachuk missed 40-plus games.
Yes.
Jones is out. Kulikov's been out. Marchand's been in and out at times. 100%. And I think you'll make the case. I will make the case. This is in their best interest. Actually, it could be a brilliant play. Not planned, but you played more hockey than anyone over 3 years. Give yourself the longest offseason you can get. Shut guys down. Maybe trade some pieces at the deadline. I could see Zito possibly doing that and trying to recoup some assets. And next year they'll come right back healthy. If Bob is back, and I would presume he is, and Bob's healthy and ready to play, and they could launch themselves right back into best team in the league category. With the Leafs, it's totally different. And that's because of their history, yet they make the playoffs every single year. So why is it Florida, hall pass, just regroup and it's all good? Leafs, there are some that believe you got to go scorched earth. Maybe it's a retool that takes a couple of years.
Can you answer me something? Like, how do you go scorched earth? What does that mean? I've heard that. Like, I don't.
Scorched earth, I think, is an organizational shift where Tree Living's out, Berube's out. There's a new president of hockey ops or something.
Matthews
There's a
gone,
new GM.
Nylander gone. That's scorched earth.
Yes, and you are basically committing to a 5-year plan.
So who are the players on your team? Is, I guess, the question on that.
Well, you're going to keep some people.
Right.
But scorched earth is a plan to lose.
Right.
That's what it is. It's a softening of we're going to be awful and we're tanking and we're hoping that we can find a way to draft our future. That's scorched earth.
I think that's
But if
feasible.
you don't get if you don't get McDavid or a Matthews or Patrick Kane or Sidney Crosby, like, it's very risky, man.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Adams, everybody was giving this guy. By the way, if I was Nashville, I'd call Kevin Adams. Look at the team he put together in Buffalo. I'd say
they're red hot. I mean, they lost to the Habs on Saturday at home, which is a rarity. But
it is. But anyway, like,
yeah,
that if you don't get one of those players, you're screwed, man.
That's
that
why
team,
they're not doing it. They're not. The Leafs aren't, and I don't think they should do that.
You're right.
Like, I am clarifying that right here, right now. I am not a proponent of go to Matthews and say we want to trade you, Nylander, we want to trade you. I'm not doing that.
No.
Okay. Well, what are they going to? My biggest question is, what are they going to say about not being good for a couple years, possibly, and say you're just going to have to be patient here because we got to rejig this thing and maybe be good in a year now. Who knows? Because they're not good this year. So if you're the star player or players, aren't you going to be asking? Well, we don't have that much time, so what the hell are we doing?
Yeah, and I think that's reasonable. They do that, but. You know, Willie's got 7 years left on his deal, or 6 after this. So, like, Nylander's, where's Willie going? He's not going anywhere. But Matthews is a bit different.
I think you hit on an important question, both of you guys. Like, how do you make the team better next year? Is like what I would be thinking of if I was in that front office. Because, like, your point with Florida, it's like they're going to be good next year, right?
Yeah, Barkov is back and everyone. Yeah.
But it's like so many players on this team are signed. So it's like, how do you both improve the team that's not good enough? You can't trade everyone, and you need players. But it's like, I have a list coming.
Mm-hmm.
All their defensemen are signed for next year. So
I'm
looking at their defense. I'm like, this defense has to get better. But it's like, okay, well, how do I do that? How do I get better defense? Don't really have a lot to trade. I don't have picks really. maybe I'll get some picks. But it's like, how do I think Riley's obviously someone we're talking about a lot now. If I were them, I'd be thinking like it's going to be really hard to trade him if you can trade him at all. Can we lower him down in the lineup? Can we play him on a third pair where he's not having to play as difficult minutes? Maybe we can resuscitate his career and get him back on track. Like that would, like, I think that's reasonable. But it's like, how do I get other defensemen on top of like, on top of that, who can play like harder minutes, more minutes, difficult minutes? Because like Tanev's signed, McCabe is signed, Ekman-Larsson signed, Carlos signed, Riley signed, Benoit's signed. It's like, how do I improve this, and what am I doing to get there? And I don't know the answer.
It's not easy. It's not an easy path. You're also living in a world now in the NHL that not a lot of change happens. Not a lot of guys hit free agency.
Well, like the best defenseman in free agency might be Darren Radish. Like it's like,
which is
who's a good player,
a great year.
He's really good, really shot,
good.
Can score a bit, but it's like
dangerous.
He's not changing your life. I don't think as a team.
Dangerous. You don't want to overpay. You don't want to get into a silly, maneuver where, and especially if Tampa's the team that's like, nah, we're moving. Maybe you should be thinking twice on that. If he leaves Tampa at all, I wouldn't be surprised if they just re-signed him. I wouldn't be shocked if that news just came down over the Olympic break. We've re-signed him to a 6-year extension at whatever amount of money. Wouldn't be surprising at all. I mean, it's a very conservative league, too. There just aren't a lot of trades.
That's the other thing.
So this is the issue that they have. And that is why the scorched earth rebuild stuff, it seems lazy, but it may actually be the only route, 5 years, 10 years down the road. Because this road, it just may be a dead end. If we're talking cup contention or actually winning a Stanley Cup, that's another part of the conversation that I don't think is coming up enough in the market is, are you retooling to just get back into the playoffs, or are you retooling to actually win the thing? Because those are two separate conversations, right? There's 4 to 6 teams probably every year, 4 to 8 teams, I would say, in both conferences that get in, and they're seat fillers. They're not winning anything, but they're in. And there are examples of teams this year. If Buffalo gets in, that's their Stanley Cup. They got in. It's been 14 years.
I don't think that's not the way they're talking, man.
Yeah, they can talk a big game-o, but they're not winning a Stanley Cup, in my opinion. With that goaltending, I don't personally see it. We'll find out, and they can say whatever they want, and good for them for the confidence. My point is, if you're in that market, you're like, I just want to make the playoffs. That's what I want, is to make the playoffs. I think there's other teams like the Islanders that would say, we just got to get in. It's a great story if we just get in. We just had the first overall pick.
It's like the 16-17 Leafs.
Yeah, like, exactly. Just get us in, and this is a cool story. Mm-hmm. So what are the Leafs trying to accomplish? Retool to save jobs and just get in, or actually try to take now they're a step back of where they even were for 9 years. For 9 years, they were here, and they had to take another big step. Now they're 2 steps back. So I don't know. I mean, I would keep a certain amount of players. I think you're going to rely on your goaltending. You got to pick which 2 guys you're going to keep. One of them's going to go because Hildeby's got to go on waivers next year, and you're going to lose him for free. Someone is plucking him for free. So you have to find a way to get some value out of one of those guys. Who are you keeping? Which 4 defensemen are you keeping? That's probably what you're doing. What's up with Chris Tanev? What is his future going to be? How much is he going to play?
If you're a GM, guess who? If you're calling the Leafs, guess who you're calling on? Your first call is on Ekman-Larsson.
Yeah, he's got term. He's put up good numbers. His money, it's like $3.5 million per. He's won a cup before. Steady, reliable. He plays pretty tough. Plays every night. I agree with you. I think there's real value in him. I think there would be value in Carlo. As it's a dark place right now. Fraser Minton was just the rookie of the month or whatever, and
the Fraser Minton, it's just watching him is tough.
He's a really good player.
And if Carlo goes out the door, that package, that'll be interesting to see how that unfolds.
Well, it won't match Minton in a first.
No kidding.
Yeah, so that's why I'm not sure they'll even do it. But this is why you're a GM, though. This is why this is your job. This is the job.
I don't think they're you're telling me, I think you're asking a question is this salvageable to the point where they can contend again? I still think it might be. Do you guys just think there's no chance beyond this season, 2 seasons after that, which is Matthews' contract, can't contend? Because I just don't think that's the case. Mm-hmm. It's hard because they have a lot of holes and they're not good enough and they're older. they don't have a lot of means to change it. So maybe I'm talking myself back into they can't do it. But I still think that there's a way it can be done where they can get back into the mix.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at this year, it will also depend on what these other teams are. Is Detroit still growing? Is Montreal still growing?
Yeah, true.
Like, that's another part of the calculus here. Not just what you think you have. If those other teams are just better and significantly better or still growing, like Montreal has a lot of flexibility. You know, they've got their big guns locked up at not that significant of term. Like Suzuki's locked in, Caulfield's locked in, Slavkovsky, Demidov is a entry level. Hudson just locked in long term. They got him under $9 million, I think. You know, Dobson's under 10. Matheson just re-signed. Like, they've got that plus flexibility. Laine's coming off this year. So if you're just looking at the Habs, like they're more suited to get in on the action than the Leafs even are. So anyway,
guys, the one thing you got to factor in when doing all of this is you're talking about retooling and not throwing in the towel. You have to ask yourself, is it worth it with William Nylander and Auston Matthews, who in their prime gave you 2 playoff series wins? Okay? That's also, you have to remember that Mitch Marner was a part of that too. But now they're close to 30 years old. So in their prime, they gave you 2 playoff series wins. Is it worth it to rejig it when they're 30 years old? What are they going to deliver the second half of their career? Is it really worth it?
I mean, there are examples that can counter that. Like the one we heard here forever was Washington. Like you heard Steve Yzerman in Detroit didn't win his first cup. I think he was like 31 or something.
Okay,
yeah.
So you're confident that these
I'm not
two guys.
confident, but like.
Well, if you're not confident, you got to be confident to believe in it.
Yeah, but like remember what it was. I think it's like so easy to forget what it was before this. Do you remember the decade before these guys showed up?
Of course I do.
Terrible. It was nothing. It was like they weren't even in the mix of being in the mix.
But to get back to whoever posed the original question about where those two guys come into frame, I think the reality is you have to go to them and say, it may take us like a few years to replenish this stuff. So that's what I've been saying for the last little while. Like, it may not, like Matthews in particular, it may take a few years. Like, and you may not be at the height of your powers as a player, but the way you're going to find a way to captain a team to a Stanley Cup is 2 or 3 drafts, 2 or 3 trade deadlines, 2 or 3 July 1st. We got to find the right coach, the right system, and in reality, it may be later in your career where, you know, you talk about Yzerman. Yzerman was the captain. He was still a great player, obviously, but they had a lot of other pieces. Now, that was pre-salary cap, so it's not even fair to compare it.
But you could compare it to like the conversation that Edmonton clearly had with McDavid last summer, right? Where he's like, it kind of seemed like his question was like, how are we going to win?
Yeah, but the margin was so much smaller.
Sure.
They're in Game 7 of the Cup final.
Sure.
The Leafs are not even close to that.
Sure.
Like, I think, again, that's the thing about the retool. A lot of people are looking at it like retool this one, like over the next 6 months and next year you're right back. It may not be. It may be a 3 or 4 year retool. It may be like we have to completely build up the system where we have a bunch of kids coming up. We win some trades. We find a couple of savvy, pros around, and you blend more into the middle.
Okay,
as opposed to you being on the top.
You saw McDavid when he was freaking out in the locker room and how badly this guy wants to win a Stanley Cup. What do you think he would say if Stan Bowman said to him, "You got to hang in there for 3 or 4 years, possibly"? Until what do you think he would say?
He may say, "I'm out of here." He might.
Yeah, he'd say, "Go stuff it." I don't have. Nobody has that amount of time. No one.
Right, but the other flip side of that coin is like you can't guarantee the next place you go is going to win. Like, let's say it's Matthews, and he says, "I want out." How many of the top teams have room for $13.5 million? And how many teams is he going there where he's not the man? Like, these are different conversations. Like, do you want to be the man on the Stanley Cup winning team, or do you just want to win? Because I think you could argue Marner, whether you want to believe it or not, really wants to win, but he didn't care about being the man because he's in Vegas where he's not. He's going to be a part of it, but he's not the man. That's not going to happen. Where, like, Matthews, where is he going? in the next 2 years where it's like, all right, you're definitely going to win and you're definitely the man. And why would that team look at him and his playoff history and say, that's the guy who can be the man for us to win?
I got to ask you the question.
Ways.
Do you think Matthews cares? Do you think it would be something that he thinks about where he's like, if I go somewhere, I got to be the man?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, man.
Really? I don't know. I mean, you can tell me better than I get the impression superstar players, they have a pretty big ego.
I remember that was one of the conversations.
They do. But he's already won all the Rockets, and he scored 70 goals, and he's got the money. Like, all that's left to do is winning. Being the man doesn't mean squat.
Okay. Well, then how many teams can he even join right now? Like, you'll say Colorado. He's not going to Colorado.
Absolutely not.
They just told Rantanen to take a walk. So that's not going to happen. Vegas doesn't have the room. Now, maybe they would create room, and that would be wild. But people keep saying L.A. L.A. is nowhere close to winning a Stanley Cup.
I don't think they've won a playoff series in
forever. So why would L.A. be the team? Why would give me the team where it's like, oh, Tampa. How is Tampa making that work? Florida's not making it work. Where's he going where it's like, I'm walking in and I know I'm winning a Stanley Cup? There's not a Ray Bourque situation out there. That's not the way the league works right now.
No.
And
the guaranteed cup opportunity, I don't know where that would be.
It doesn't happen. And that's, I guess, my point is, sure, he might feel better about his opportunity somewhere else, but it takes two to tango. Those teams have to be interested or make it feel like it can work. And, if you feel like you're going to play another 10 years, what's it worth to chase it for the team you've always been on? Probably worth more, I would presume. I don't know. I'm just saying, it's not, yes, it wouldn't be an easy pill to swallow, but it might be the most realistic one.